And you should be one.
And welcome to Oasis Valley Mysteries, session 33. Today, we begin our new mystery not long after investigators managed to secure an escaped endofauna, a deadly oversized macroswarm, as well as safely navigate the dangerous whims of one of Oasis Valley's oldest and most violent threats. Learning that the recent bad luck and sabotage visited upon the Vulture's poaching ring, the same that initially led to our team of investigators joining together, was being inflicted as a punishment by the ancient and capricious Rawhead Bloodybones. Our investigators were recruited by him. Offering a trade, Rawhead kept his promise of not harming the kidnapped twins Manny and Rio once the party had secured and brought him Percival Phillips, one of the higher-ranking members of the International Poaching Ring. Tonight our story begins in the late balmy spring evening, crickets and cicadas trilling out into the night air not long after the sun fled behind the horizon. The stars shine above, with the swelling moon creeping higher, nearing fullness once again in another week or so. The air was thick with humidity from the recent storms, as well as the mosquitoes that inevitably flourish after the desert rains. One such mosquito ends up splattered unceremoniously where it perched on a man's arm, ready for a meal after flying in through an open window of the trailer home. The man grumbles as he wipes his arm off, before taking a swig from his thankfully chilled beer, turning his attention back to the television. The earwormy jingle of a commercial fades, and the logo of Channel 15, the local news station, fills the screen. A smartly dressed woman anchor faces the camera as she begins to speak. Hello, I'm Vera Snyder, and this is Channel 15 News, Redemption's #1 source for information around town and across Oasis Valley. On tonight's edition, we focus our attention on Redemption's own claim to world fame, the Oasis Valley superorganism. Pluripotent Industries CEO Kieran Fossick Jr. in recent weeks has made statements indicating a desire to reopen the currently restricted Interior National Park, hoping to bring back renewed interest in the wholly unique geobiological formation. Once the source of Redemption's popularity and economic growth, the closure following various accidents and incidents in the 70s has left locals struggling to adjust in the following years. Across the valley, plans are in motion to begin. A faint rumble through the structure of the trailer drew the man's attention away from the TV, looking around as various objects around his trailer were swaying from the vibrations that seemed to come up from the ground. Muting the TV, he pauses, feeling the tremors through the floor, then heads towards his door. A little side here. Didn't realize I put so many rhyming things in here. Opening it to the night air, he sees he is not the only one peeking out from their respective trailers to see where the increasing tremors and the building sound of shifting earth was coming from. The denizens of the trailer park glance around in building anxiety, several calling out that it must be an earthquake, as yard ornaments topple and wind chimes clatter. There was a loud cracking sound followed by the gurgling of a large amount of water suddenly flowing as the man's face paled. Oh no, he gasped out before scrambling around toward the backyard of his lot in the trailer park. Just as he feared, he saw what remained of his newly purchased jacuzzi sticking halfway out of a sinkhole that had appeared in his backyard, the chlorinated water pouring from the cracked structure. The rumbling had died down, and as the man clutched his hair in distress, staring at the sinkhole, worrying it may expand to swallow up his trailer, the other residents of the trailer park began to show up and voice their concerns. A woman quickly hurries up, camera in hand. Hey, Bill, this is some rough luck. Think you might need some pictures for insurance purposes? The Latina woman offers. What? Fuck, yeah, that would be a help. Can you believe this? I just got it set up and the water was perfect. What the fuck is that? He shouts. His shouts joined with startled screams and shouts of the other residents as the crowd began to push back away from the sinkhole. Everyone but Estella de la Cruz began to step back as she began snapping photo after photo as an armored head began to rise from the sinkhole on a strangely narrow neck, telescoping out as small eyes squint against the camera's flash. Hanzo.
Oh boy.
Tonight we begin with you.
All right, where am I?
So it's been about a week or so since you were assigned to work with Agent Wakefield, and it's been mostly uneventful, perhaps thankfully. No real big issues, mostly just helping clear up and secure the location that you were shown the former Vulture's entrance. But tonight was a different case, as you and Agent Wakefield were alerted to a possible animal disturbance. As you arrived at was a local butchery, a local butcher. Hold on, there's a specific name. Locations. All right, it's this one. I actually have a name for. Um, really breaking the illusion of being a whatever. It's a butcher shop, and oh, the Ordinary Expedition Butcher Shop. You would know it as Johanna, being a local, informs you. It was renamed years ago after complaints that the old name, the Catabasis based Expedition Deli, implied the meats were harvested from the superorganism. So
Oh dear.
you recall there as there seemed to be a pack of what was initially reported to be dogs questioning, uh, ransacking uh, the uh, the place. And as you arrive, uh, Johanna riding with you in your car, you pull up as the the proprietor. Um, uh, Herbert Cornell runs up as he goes. He's standing outside, and there are people standing out as the it is closed. This is close to the strip mall that Sue's Par has her shop. Um, Same kind of like a commercial area, but
Hmm.
people are standing around as it's clear people have fled from the butcher shop. You don't see anything from the front, but he like hurries up and he goes, where is animal control? And Agent Wakefield goes, "Oh, don't worry, we're here from Pluripotent. We're here before animal control. They're following up behind us," she says, lying.
Hmm.
And she kind of like looks to you, kind of like this look that you've kind of noticed of back me up.
We're here to verify whether this is a superorganism entity.
And this man, he heavier set man in his maybe 50s, looks is kind of pales, goes, "Superorganism, like that kind of fun of crap shit. Oh boy." And he kind of looks around, goes, "I mean, I don't know if that's any better or worse than if it was just stray dogs, but
You
uh
said there's a crowd?
because just like not like a large crowd, just a couple of people who might have been there, and a few of the workers. It looks like him and like maybe two other people that were working there that this evening, because it's
Hmm.
not too late, but um looked to be close to maybe like closing time.
Don't worry, sir. Whether or not it's an animal or a stray dog or an endofauna, it's still just an animal. We'll take
Okay,
care of it.
please, I this is the last thing we need. And he kind of just like steps back, and one of the other workers, he comes up and he goes, they got into the meat locker.
Thank you.
Well, we were. We no, he would have got. We were loading stuff into the meat locker. A delivery came in when these things came out of the back alley and came after us. And you see this other guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going back there." They chased me away from my truck, and you realize it was the delivery. Uh, Someone wearing like a jacket or like a jumpsuit from one of the local farms, like a local slaughterhouse.
Aggressive then?
Yeah, and he's actually the one who goes, "Yeah, first we thought they were dogs, or coyotes coming in, but I swear I saw scales."
Gonna share a look with Wakefield.
And she nods. Goes, "Well, we'll take care of this. Just everyone, make sure you stand back, and if anything does come out, do not approach it." And there's like, she says that loud enough that the onlookers kind of look over and can be heard. So she goes around and to the back where she had to the trunk where she had loaded in one of the like briefcase, like the bulky briefcases that you carry equipment in.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes back, opens up the trunk, and then pops that open as she pulls out a tranquilizer rifle. It kind of folds it into position, and she's like, "Well, we only got one of these, but here." She hands you what looks to be like a metal rod,
Mm-hmm.
about like 5 inches or so, with a button on the side. And when you click it, it extends into a. You realize it's a collapsible shock prod, as there are now a pair of prongs at the end that hold the when you hold the button again, there's like a crackle of electricity at the end. So you have now a. Hold on, let me uh, post this for you. I am giving you one of the items that Isaac had gotten from Spindle. I'm just copying it.
Very well. Thank you very much.
So when not activated, you are able to, excuse me, to hide it on your person.
Excellent.
So it's not like obvious you're carrying around a cattle prod.
Mm-hmm.
But she takes one herself and kind of pockets it as she takes the tranquilizer rifle. And you, do you take the lead or do you allow her to?
I'll be taking the lead.
Okay, I'll cover you. And she goes, "No offense, but it's probably best you flush them out, and I'd shoot whoever tries to get you."
Correct. With that mention of scales, hopefully this thing's not too tough for the needles.
Nope. We the techs know how to make them for that. And she, as you, how are you going to approach this? Through the store, or are you going to try to circle around to the back?
You'll look to one of the employees, actually. Where is your meat locker?
It's through the back, and he points to like a door that leads to the back. You can go through there, or and he points around, and there, like maybe a store next to it before there's an alley access that goes back. He goes, uh, and the driver goes, "I ran out from there."
You'll look to one of the employees who works there and is like, which would give me a best sight line of the meat locker?
And they kind of look at each other before turning back and goes, "Well, the truck's pulled up, so probably inside you can look through the window." And there is like a window set in the door.
Very well.
And actually, there would be like, thinking of like butcher shops I've been to and delis, there would be like a window towards the back so people up front can talk to the people in the back.
Thank you for
But
your
from like where you,
compliance.
yeah. You realize they're kind of they're standing there with like butcher knives. One guy's got a cleaver. They're just like standing there, just like they kind of panicked and grabbed what they had at hand, which just happened to be very large knives.
Mm-hmm. Let's go then.
But so, how do
He'll
you
be following.
proceed?
He'll be following the advice of the employees. He wants. He doesn't want if something is in the meat locker. He wants to have a clear line of sight before it turns and probably tackles him. Whether that
Okay,
means going through the store or going through the back. He wants to approach this smartly.
okay. So perhaps this would be a read a bad situation.
And considering that we were called in to potentially deal with an Endofun, you think I would have had time to swap out my hidden armor for combat armor? Or
Oh yeah, yeah. Joanna would also have that.
alrighty then. Read a bad situation.
Success and a 10 plus even.
Oh right, I forgot. Before we proceed, what are the
Oh
highlighted
fuck!
skills for this?
Jeez. All right. Well, that's something. Maybe we should wait for Olivia for that one.
Fair enough.
That way,
I'll
I have everyone
retroactively
here.
apply anything if necessary.
Yeah, just keep track if whether or not it ends up you had a roll that ends up being what you did. So a 10, which is a hold of 3. Best way in, best way out. Dangers you haven't noticed. What's the biggest threat? What is most vulnerable to me or you? What's the best way to protect the victims?
Best way in, I think I answered that with the employees.
Yeah, but now you'll have a +1 going forward for that. Acting on that
Excellent.
because I always forget about that little detail. If you act on the answers, you get a +1 ongoing while the information is relevant.
Excellent.
It's something I need to keep in mind more with that.
All right. I'll ask the obvious question. What's the biggest threat?
So you enter the butcher shop and start walking behind the counter. Do you go to the door or the window?
You'll check the window first. He was
Okay,
recommended for that.
yeah, and so you go to the window and you see, there's tables, there's meat slicing machines, uh, various knives around. You see hooks for hauling meat or hanging them. You do see some like meats that are still hanging up. They might have been out of reach, but you don't see any on like the shelves. But as you look in, biggest threat you notice is as you look towards the back, past some of the shelves and the counters, towards where you assume you were told the meat locker area was. As you can see, there's like a roll-up shutter in the back, where the back of the refrigerated van is.
Mm-hmm.
You do see what looks to be maybe 3 shapes moving around. Um, as you notice, there are uh, they're roughly about the same size, but there is one that is larger than the other two by slightly bigger. As you see, peering through it, a vaguely familiar reptilian form, large, heavy jaws, stout legs, as you see a trio of jackal lizards tearing into what looks to be a side of beef with piled up other meats. It looks like they gathered up all that was around and have been piling it around them.
I see 3 jackal lizards.
Oh, well. Well, curious how they got downtown, or this far without eating anyone's pets, or gnawing on some kid's leg. But that's questions for after. Um, so you still have another hold. You
I
have
do.
one more question.
10 plus I have a hold
They
of 3, right?
Yep, and you asked best way in and biggest threat.
Ah, yes. So that would be, what have I not noticed yet?
Not noticed yet. As you go over towards the door and peer through, you kind of you see the three that are over by the meat pile. That's a horrible word. Um, and you see them. They're not really paying attention in your direction. So as you start to push open the door, you pause a moment as you hear you barely you almost missed it. You hear like the click of nails on the linoleum as you peer through the crack where you couldn't see it from the angle you were at with the window. There is a fourth one that is gnawing on what looks to be like a large ham, just tearing off chunks. And if you open the door further, there's a good chance it would notice. But you've noticed as it's you know
He'll
tearing off
quiet.
these large chunks with these scissor-like jaws.
He'll quietly pull the door shut again, and then he'll inform Wakefield. Fourth one behind the door.
Oh, sneaky. Okay. Uh, want me to try to dart it while it's away, or do you wanna handle this?
I noticed one of them is bigger than the others. Think that can put it down?
And she kind of like glances at it. She goes, "One dart should be good for normal size one, but if it's much bigger, these things might take additional darts."
How many shots do you have?
Uh, 5. So I better not miss.
All right. Focus on the smaller ones then. Make your shots count.
Okay. So she's going to just. You want to provide distraction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she's going to go to the door, and she motions you towards the window. She goes, "Okay, I'll try to dart the one by the door, make a noise at the window to get their attention, and then we switch real quick."
Right then.
So, um,
Act under pressure, I suppose.
yeah, I'm just thinking, or this might be a help out.
Help out would help as be +10. Your help gives them a +1 to their roll.
Yeah, except I don't roll anything in this campaign, so I'm just thinking this would. I mean, it's still a cool roll. So
Yeah, act under pressure seems just as applicable.
yeah, yeah, do an act under pressure. It has funner outcomes.
Alrighty then. I'm just checking my abilities.
Don't worry, we'll get through the rest of you soon. Mixed success. Okay. Uh, all right. So, how do you make the distraction?
She recommended making the distraction at the window, right?
Yeah, to lure their attention away from the door.
Quite
That's what
simply,
she suggested, but
he'll just knock with his knuckles against the glass, enough to just a dung dung dung.
okay. And looking through the glass, you focus on the trio where because you can't really see the one under beneath the window angle. So you see their heads whip up, bits of meat kind of fly off as they look in your direction as and begin to slink towards there as Johanna pushes the door open, shoulders it. She goes, "Oh fuck!" And then you hear the uh, the firing of the dart. It's not like a gunfire, but she goes, "Got it. Okay, switch, switch, switch." As
Mm-hmm.
she steps back from the door and starts to reload.
All right.
And when you get to the door and push it open, you see one of them. It's the one that was closer. She got it darted in its side as it looked like it was probably looking up towards the window as it is now stumbling and begins to stagger back. Clearly, the trank having a powerful effect on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. That leaves the three others.
yep.
Since it was act under
And
pressure on a 7 to 9, gives you going to give you worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay.
yep, I have that in mind. So, now what do you want to do next? Because you see these two, um, or these three approaching you. The two, it's not like one is like twice as big. They're all fairly close, but this one looks a little bit bulkier. And as Johanna looks through the window, she goes, "Oh, that's probably the mom."
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like, just like a quick offhand as she's like reloading, and she goes, "Oh, that's probably the mom," and they're looking for food. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I make all my NPCs kind of talk the same way. I need to get better at that. So, what do you do? How do you want to handle this?
Take down the mother then.
All right, I'll focus on darting her. You zap the youngsters. Or, oh, that sounded bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, kick some ass, please. Nice. But you're using the shock prod, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. So, on a 10 plus, you gain an extra effect. Gain +1 forward. Although you would also have a +1, so this is closer to a 2. So, or 12, I mean. So, but you can gain advantage to take one forward or give one forward to another hunter. Inflict terrible harm for an additional one. Suffer less harm in return, or force them where you want them.
Uh, I suppose
I know I
taking
probably
up the
don't
harm
emphasize.
wouldn't physically hurt them more, but it would make the shock prod more effective.
Yeah, you'd be like finding the spots that would hurt more.
All right, I'll inflict additional harm then and rely on my armor.
Okay, so you kind of use some of the countertops to put space between you and them and try to isolate one. And it comes up running towards you, the claws clicking on the linoleum. Have you seen, you've seen videos of lizard, or maybe
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I'm familiar with the
Um,
sound of lizards on
yeah,
linoleum.
no, I mean, yeah, I was just like pre-internet days. It's probably not as common, but
It's very
you've seen it in
scratchy.
real life. Yeah. So, but it's also seems to have much better traction on the linoleum than actual more normal reptiles do, as it's coming at you rather quickly. Uh, these large jaws running at you, very skink-like in its manner, where it's just running full speed, mouth open at you. But uh, you manage to kind of sidestep it as it lunges for you, and hit the prods into the round, like where the neck meets the shoulders, and it twitches. You feel a twinge of sadness at having to hurt an animal, but it does go down and kind of stagger there before falling over, and seems to be taken care of for the moment. You know these are intended to be non-lethal, but you know that if they are held on too long, they can cause damage. But it seems one was enough to knock that one off its feet for the moment. So
Yeah, he's not trying
as
to
you
harm them.
so as you zap that one, you feel a heavy weight suddenly clamp down on your leg as the other smaller one came running around and chomps down on your leg, very much like a people say a pit bull does or a bulldog, as
Hmm.
it just starts gnawing into your leg, and it would do 2 damage.
All right, the armor comes in clutch then.
Oh, nice. So it sinks in. You do feel like the scrapes of the teeth that like they sink through the armor, but manages to catch them, so it's not like drawing blood.
Yeah.
But you have this thing latched onto your leg as you hear Johanna firing off the rifle and reloading as fast as she can. So you want to kick some ass again?
Sure thing. Uh-oh.
Okay. So as it's like yanking at your leg, shaking its head, you try to hit it with the prod, the zap prod again, but it manages to yank you out, you off balance enough that you can't really get a solid hit. It's sparking against the scales. They're not super dense. They are actually fairly slick. It seems, again, kind of skink like, but you don't really. You're not able to get a good solid connection as it seems the teeth sink through further into the through the armor, and this time it does do two damage, piercing through the armor. So you
Hmm.
take 2 harm,
Very well. Hopefully that gives Wakefield enough time to tranquilize this one.
and you look up as you feel the blood start to flow out of that searing pain as it's trying to break your leg with its jaw force, but you as you're focused on this, you do eventually, after a few moments of getting worried that this thing's trying to rip your foot off, uh, Johanna does rush up and standing over it, fire the dart into it, and she goes, and then just steps back and goes, "Okay, that was the last one." And you sit up and are able to like give it another zap to as it's like getting woozy and it pulls back and is able to stagger back before falling out unconscious. Your leg bleeding on the linoleum floor, but you
He'll
look
note the
up.
damage, but he'll look up.
You'll look up and you see the larger one very close to the door with the 3 darts embedded in it. As she bends down, offers you a hand up.
What about the others?
Um, oh, that was it. She goes, the mother, and then you got, uh, yeah, she darted the large one, darted the one that was by the door. You zapped one of them,
Hmm.
and you look over, and she goes, "Oh shit!" As it's starting to get its bearing again, but she reaches in and uh, she actually goes over and takes some what would it be like a she doesn't have like lizard handcuffs, so I'm trying to figure out how she would restrain this.
Hmm.
Um, oh yeah, this is stupid. There is like the butcher's wrap, like there's like plastic wrap, and she burritos the lizard with your help, and you have to like duct tape the mouth, like very much like how people contain alligators.
Hmm.
It's so it your leg is hurting, but getting these things secured is probably the first priority.
Absolutely. Besides,
So
my medical equipment's in the car.
yeah. So you have managed to secure them. Johanna's just like, okay, we need to get your leg looked at and call this in. Uh, she looks her over and she goes, well, that tracks. So she points over, and you see that there is like a large amount of meat on the ground, but you see a more that is still within the truck and with that had been already loaded into the meat locker that seem to be untouched. She goes, from what I remember, these things don't like cold, so that tracks. They chewed up what was already out.
Hmm. Good to know.
But yeah, okay. Trying to figure out where these came from after we get you bandaged up and get this called in. So you head back out front, and the butcher sees the state of you limping out, and people are like, "Oh, are you okay?" And the butcher goes up to you, he's like, "Are you okay? Do we need to call an ambulance for you?"
No. Situation is under control.
Oh, you got him.
The
And
ones we saw,
Johanna,
yes.
yeah, we got four of them. She looks at the others. Is that what you said? And the others kind of not and goes, "Yeah, that sounds right." It was like I thought it was like a pack of dogs or something at first. What were they?
Close enough. The dog equivalent of the underworld.
They kind of like they kind of exchange glances but nod. Just like
Just a mother trying
someone.
to feed its children.
Oh, and then like one of them like looks at the cleaver there, and then I was like, now I feel kind of bad for what I was like thinking. Try to, all right, and so you reassure them they are not going to go back because they're not exactly trustworthy. Johanna says, "We've called in uh, people to come secure them and clean up, help you clean up." And so she takes you back to your car so you can bandage your leg up. Go ahead and do that before we.
Yep, yep. Though,
And she'll help you out so you have a +1 to it.
okay then, yeah, I was about to ask.
Yeah, she has similar training, so rather than have her roll, she'll just aid you so you get a +1. She's doing a help out basically. Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't break the any bones, but it like really gashed your leg. Oh, nice. So, yep, you heal however much that is for you.
Two
Actually, no, with
harm,
her help,
stabilize injury.
so yeah, you would actually get an additional harm healed because she's helping you out. She seems
Back to full
she's
then.
yep, she helps stitch you up a bit. Not technically stitching it because you got therapeut super medicine.
Mm-hmm. So a pack of lizard dogs.
Yeah.
So,
So she kind of frowns. She goes, "Well, there were a bunch of them at the vulture entrance you found, right?"
yes, but that's quite a ways away.
Yeah, they ate the dead that we found. They were chewing on the dead that we found. But you think it might be just leftovers from the vulture's operation? I mean, these things were ravenous. They're
Don't
normally hungry, from what I've heard, but
don't know.
going into a brightly lit space like that's that's odd.
Probably desperate.
Yeah,
But
it's a shame we couldn't get that animal control out here. No, I mean, probably best. Well, I
I'm
hear
sure I appreciate that in the
your
last
animal
few
control.
months, more endofauna have been popping up unaccounted for.
Yeah, that's incredibly concerning, and definitely going to have McLean on our ass because he gestures around to the city. Potent's whole revitalization.
Yeah.
No, I was meaning too bad we couldn't get a hold of your one friend, the works for the preserve.
Me. Hello.
But well, at least we got them. Oh, sure, we gotta find out where they came from. But and as you're chatting with her, the pluripotent van shows up. They were kind of waiting for your call, so it doesn't take them long to show up. But we'll leave you off there for the moment as we do a small little scene translation. But before that, now that Olivia's here, we gotta assign stats.
Oh. Right.
Since it's a new arc and season.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go down. Carlos,
Yes.
your assigned ability. Hold on.
How do we mark them?
Yeah.
I haven't been able to
let me-
find that on the sheet. I've just been using my old Google character sheet to keep track of that.
Yeah.
Or if there's some other means here on Roll20 that you could just make a note.
Um,
I wonder if that's one of the things that changed between first and second edition.
Oh, maybe. Maybe there aren't mark stats anymore.
and that'll be interesting.
I'll make a
That would
note
make-
though.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's like empty boxes and stuff you can fill out, right?
Down under history and notes. What stat was mine again?
No, I was gonna go through. So yours is charm.
Oh boy, I'm not good at that skill.
The Wizard Council's coming.
Hanzo.
Hmm?
You have cool. And Olivia, tough. Tommy, weird.
Okay.
And Fred, you have charm.
Nice.
And Winifred, you have weird as well.
Weird.
Winifred here.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Sometimes
Okay.
my mic doesn't pick me up even though it says it does.
Okay, no worries. So, Winifred, since you were the last one I assigned, you get to pick.
Okay. Hanzo,
Yes.
you get. Let me check here.
I'd given him tough.
Giving him tough. Sharp.
Wait, no, or did I cool? I
You
can't
gave me
remember, Hanzo.
cool.
Cool, right.
I'll take that sharp, though.
So Hanzo.
I'll just go down the list. Carlos,
Hi.
you get weird. No, wait, did you already get that?
No, I got charm.
Charm.
So
You get weird.
cool.
Let's get weird. I'm gonna make it weird.
Tonight.
You know how I
Going to
advised
get
don't make it weird?
Weird.
You gotta make it weird.
Gotta make it weird. Okay. Hey, Fred,
Yeah?
take a tough.
Okay. The one I'm not skilled at using. Alright, thanks.
No, it's the one you're not skilled at using, and it's the one you continuously roll in combat situations.
That is true.
Well, yeah,
You're
what the
gonna
hell else
need
am I supposed to
tough
do?
to defend your
Just the
children.
monsters? It's not that kind of campaign. Olivia, what'd you get from the boss man?
Tough.
All right. I'm giving you weird.
Oh, okay.
What?
Remember, weird isn't just for casting spells. There is a move that allows you to just
No, my weird is a 0.
yeah.
My weird
But
is bad.
there is a move
Oh,
you can use called Trust Your Gut that uses weird.
I know, but my weird is bad. I tend to
Well,
avoid it.
so's my tough. Tough it out. Or weird it out, rather.
Yeah.
Weirded out.
Also, you're a luchador, and that's pretty weird.
Hey, I'm perfectly normal. You're the weird one.
That's
Whoops.
true.
That was weird.
What the hell? Let's see. Who hasn't even asked yet? Tommy.
Yeah.
What you get? What did you get from DM?
Weird. I got a
Got
weird.
Okay.
What's your worst one, Tommy?
I'll give you tough.
Cool. This is an inverse of the past arc because these are actually my good stats and not my -1 stats.
Whoops.
All right, who hasn't been given a stat yet?
Me. At least from other
All right.
people.
What did the boss man give you?
Weird.
Okay, I'll do sharp
Sure.
for you.
Okay.
Rad.
I'll take that.
So I think that's everyone.
Yep.
I think
Did
so.
everyone get their 2 mark stats?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm afraid to
Oh.
roll my woman with the plan.
Oh yes, do that. Yeah, if anyone, shoot, there's all of these like start of the adventure.
Only
things
I have that, I
like
think.
Yeah, if anyone
Uh,
has or picked up a similar skill, that would be the time.
Okay, thank God it wasn't 2 ones. Let's see,
Only
what I get
one
from
one.
9. That's still only a hold of 1 with something I have a +3 to, but still.
1 + 1 + 2 + 1. So, okay. So, as we leave Hanzo and Agent Wakefield to wrap up, kind of one of the people who shows up makes that joke about wrapping up, and they indicate the cling wrapped up lizard that's struggling vainly against the power of plastic. But we switch across town. Fred, you have the next few days off, as tomorrow you are preparing to greet your children.
What's gonna be so great?
And you're kind of roaming around the house, getting things ready. How does Fred prepare for his kids? Because at the moment, when a Fred's out, it's nightfall, so she woke up and headed out.
So like ever since joining here, Fred has been going to secondhand shops and getting like various, household appliances and things to clean up the place. Because I don't think Winifred probably does a lot of stuff to make things dirty, but Fred is a living person.
Yeah,
So
and
Fred is going.
you live in a desert, so dust and dirt does just accumulate.
Fred is going full male wife on the place. Like he has got dusters, he's got like that lemon oil shit that my parents use on the wooden furniture from time to time.
Pine
He's
saw.
fucking getting the Windex out. He's mopping the floors. He is doing everything he can to make everything look as nice as possible. He's doing a shitload of laundry on all the sheets and things that haven't really been used. Um, He's considered purchasing a slip and slide, but thankfully for everyone, it's out of his budget because those things are they seemed so fun in the commercials in the 90s, and then you used them, and your knees found out.
And then you hit a rock.
Your knees
Oh
found
god, the
out.
rocks were the worst. Oh god, no, the worst was when you picked up too much momentum and you went further than the slip and slide was long, so you skidded through the grass.
Yeah, he's channeling all the neuroses that his own baby boomer parents baked into him
Oh no.
about making sure the house is clean, making sure it looks like it has never like it was just made and has never been visited by human beings before, that no one lives there. That's what you do when company is coming.
Okay.
And he also has a modest collection of presents that he's gotten for the kids, based on interests they had probably 5 years ago, for the most part.
Oh.
So, yeah, you're going full Mr. Mom, cleaning up the house, and you know that the kids are due in the morning. They might be a little bit tired from having to ride the bus for so long, but that evening, you know that you have a dinner planned. Hanzo is planning to take you and your kids out for a treat. So, you're cleaning around the house, and hold on. Just for fun, do a read a bad situation roll for me.
Just for fun.
There's no bad situations. My kids are coming.
He turns around and he sees fucking ants on the
dang.
counter.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. He's on fucking alert.
So, Fred.
Yeah.
I really should have just had you notice this, but yeah, this is fun. As you're cleaning around, you're in the kitchen, and you hear something. Oh, wait, you know what? This is perfect timing. I'm going to go to the house map.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, scroll up, Nora, and you'll see Winifred's house. But it's on the general.
Oh.
But you're in the kitchen, just kind of sweeping up and mopping and doing your busybody stuff. But you hear from the backyard what sounds like skittering noise of like claws on the concrete, and then the sound of scrabbling wood. As it sounds, you realize it sounds like something might be climbing up the side of the wall of the house. With that high of a thing, you've heard noises, and you've started to notice now that you've had to deal with some weird animals and monsters. It sounds like something. It might be scrabbling up the side of the wall, or the outside of the house.
Okay. Well, I have a hold of 3, I believe. So what's most vulnerable to me?
Well, you don't. That one you might be better asked when you discover what it is.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna grab my cricket bat, and I'm gonna beat this thing's fucking ass, because now is not the time.
Okay. So
Raccoon.
you step out back.
Yep.
Okay, you turn on the back porch light, and well, I'm looking at the map. So you step back, and it's closer to like the other back door because you stepped out of the kitchen back door. So you step around, and it's closer to where like your grill is sitting. Thankfully, no, you haven't seen any swarms coming after you when you've decided to cook outside since that fateful day. But stepping around, you look up to the side of the house, and it's above where it's what would must be vulnerable to you. It looks to be a fairly large, maybe like you would recognize it. It's a fairly large lizard-looking thing that you saw biting Olivia's leg. Not Olivia, but the luchador's leg down in the superorganism.
Yeah, Olivia wasn't there for that.
Right. My mistake. It was my mistake. It was so. You're so used to Olivia getting attacked by wildlife that it was, but. So you see this lizard kind of clambering up the side of the house.
Hey! Get the fuck down!
This lizard, as you shout up, kind of turns and does that lizard side-eye thing. You know the one I mean, where like a bearded dragon just kind of looks at you like, what the fuck do you want kind of look.
Alright, I'm going to have to call animal control.
And you
listen to it hiss at you.
I'm gonna call Olivia. This is kind of her bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, Fred calls Olivia.
What time is it?
It's
3 a.m.
early-ish evening. No, it's not like maybe like 7-ish. So it's sun's gone down, but it's not like super late.
Okay.
People might be eating dinner.
Yeah, you hear a yawn when the phone, picks up. Hello?
One of the pit lizards is on my house.
What?
One of the lizards from the pit. It's on my house.
Fred,
Fred's house.
Yeah, Fred, because you would recognize these from the museum. These are known as jackal lizards, a portmanteau of jackal lizards. But
the jackal lizard, that thingy.
Also because some people say that when they open their mouths, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Like a jagged-toothed jack-o'-lantern.
Why is there a fucking jackal lizard at your house?
Well, gee, I don't know, but I know that I want it off.
Fred, you step back out because the phone is like one of those super long bungee cords, like the.
I don't know if I step back out when there's a monster on my house.
But so you hear it scramble up on. It sounds like it's now on the roof, like what?
It's on the roof.
What? Did it follow you from the organism?
It's been several days since we've been in the organism. I would assume not.
I mean, some things can track real good. Have you ever heard of a polar bear?
Are jackal lizards one of the things that track real good?
God?
Fred, you would know that normally they don't track their scavengers typically.
I feel the pit biologists would know that too.
Yeah, I know. God?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
They don't really...
Yeah, God just said that. They don't track people.
Okay,
I mean, they'll attack people, but they won't, specifically track down a scent trail.
Okay.
They're more opportunists, really.
All right. This is out of character for one of them.
Listen, I'm calling you because we both share a mutual respect for the animal life and all that, and I feel like you would know best of all the people I know on how to get rid of this thing tactfully. If we don't find a way to get rid of it, I am going to start throwing rocks at it till it leaves.
Be careful; those things can fuck you up.
Yeah, I remember. You weren't there when the luchador was around, which everyone else is taking a lot easier than I am. But it bit the luchador or something terrible.
There's a pause. Luchador?
Oh, I mentioned this. Do you just not listen when I talk?
Okay, wait, did you mention it to her?
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you think he would not stop talking about the luchador?
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Right,
in the
right.
intermission, you have that conversation.
Okay. All right. Because I didn't know if that was the thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Konnichiwa. I'm sorry. I was taking a nap. um. Shit. All right. I will head over. I need to get something to catch a jackal lizard.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna keep an eye on it over here.
Yeah. Don't.
And if it
If you
comes
can
down,
help it,
I'm gonna hit it with my bat.
if you can help it, don't be outside with it. Like, keep an eye on it from a safe distance because those fuckers are nasty.
Better not shit on the roof. I got kids coming. I don't want to explain a giant
Well, yeah,
lizard turd on the
you
roof.
can clean shit off the roof. You can't clean up a bitten off
You know,
arm.
Fred, if it's where you think it climbed, you'd be able to probably see it from one of the second story floors because it looks like it sounded like it went over one of the the
That's
lower
bait.
roof.
That's bait, is what that is.
Well, yes, Mr. Mundane.
Yeah, mundane. Is that bait?
All right, fine.
Home
I'll go
Alone.
get kidnapped for everyone else's amusement, I guess.
Hell yeah. Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Okay. Well, while he's heading up, God, do I know a way to catch these things?
You've never had to train to get them, but
Yeah.
you have had to deal with like Gila monsters because those are around occasionally. But
Yeah.
thinking about it, large lizards. You're not sure if you have specific. This might be my fault of not thinking of like what you would use for it, but something to protect against its large snapping things. You might be able to use like the choke pulls. I don't know what they call them.
Okay.
The loop pulls that
makes
they
a lot
use
of
on
sense.
dogs.
They're just called
That
catch
does
poles.
make a lot of sense.
Catch pulls. Yeah, that'd probably be your best bet because you could get it around the leg or around the neck and maybe
Yeah.
even around the snout to keep it closed. But
Yeah. I'm gonna
anything
grab
to
one of
keep,
those.
you would think from personal experience, you would think anything to keep those teeth away from you would be a good idea.
Mhm. Yeah. Those fucking teeth.
That smile.
Yeah,
Don't
they
smile.
their teeth are their jaw strength is Olivia, you might know this just from being a nerd
Yeah.
about superorganism stuff. Some people argue they should probably be named after hyenas because of jaw strength rather than jackals, but the portmanteau is
lovely.
just too strong
Lovely.
because they do crunch bone. They do that pretty
Cool.
easily.
I will grab one of those grabby thingies,
Mm-hmm.
and she just has
Oh,
the
I think that
urge.
would be a preparedness because I don't know if you would keep that at your house normally.
That is a good point.
You might have it in your truck. Who knows?
That's a good point, though.
But that sounds like it would be a good thing
Sharp.
for a preparedness roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have one in your truck.
Cool. Also,
Probably like standard equipment actually, for like
Yeah.
animal control stuff.
Oh, absolutely. She's used that to get snakes plenty of times.
You would use like the hook pull for the snakes, but
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah.
but yeah, this would definitely be used for like feral dogs or coyotes that get into town, that kind of thing.
And she doesn't know why, but she grabs the mask. She just tucks that in her pocket.
Gonna put the mask on the lizard. All right.
Your plan to make a lizard luchador is coming closer to
Show up
fruition.
as the luchador to fight the lizard and break Red's mind.
Did you wiretap my phone?
Oh fuck.
So you're gonna drive over to Fred and Winifred's,
Yeah,
the Freds.
the Freds. With
That's
having
my Fred.
warned Fred not to go outside with it.
So, Fred, you are now left alone to your own machinations.
You do have the radio that I've given everybody.
Fred, it's me. You. What? It's me, Fred. Go upstairs and look out the window. Maybe you can see it better. Well, that seems risky. No. Go up there.
Oh my god.
It's good for you. Well, all right.
I just have to sit back. Jeez.
Fred goes upstairs and looks out the window to see if he can see the creature.
So, you still have the holds from the readabout situation. So, I'll say it's not hard to find it because you rolled very well, and it's still the same bad situation. So, you look out the window. You go into looking at the map, the large bedroom. That's the large west bedroom in the middle. No, east bedroom, next to the bathroom. And you look out the window onto the rooftop. You start thinking, it's like, oh, this would actually be fairly easy to get onto the rooftop. And you might have this moment of like dad brain still where it's like, well, that'd be a perfect place to get out to hang Christmas lights later if Winifred doesn't, kill you for the suggestion. But but as you're looking out, you don't see the lizard at first. Because you're looking out, you're like leaning in, kind of leaning in, trying to look out because it's darker up there. The porch light providing some illumination, but it's not like aimed up there, so it's still dark. But as you look out, you suddenly, you like step back to like lean, stand back up. That puts you more in line as upside down from the top of the window, staring through. You see this lizard just staring at you through one of the side eyes.
I was right. This was a dumb idea.
Tongue flitting out. It's through the glass. The window's closed, thankfully.
I wave at it.
It's just...
Don't be outside with it.
Fred, open the window. Look at it.
You wait. Fred, you waved?
Yeah, I wave.
You see the lizard staring at you, and then one of the legs slowly lifts up and does the circular wave like a dragon.
Yeah. I match the wave and the circular motion. Fuck yeah, we're doing it Tyrantus style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this thing's head is like it's a wedge, but as you start waving, it shakes its head.
I don't do the head bobbing.
Okay. So it seems to let go, and you're worried as it drops. And
oh
shit, poor little guy.
It drops down, and
you watch it turn into Winifred on the roof, and she just looks in the window at you. It's like, you have no self-preservation skills at all, do you?
what?
Amazing.
What the fuck?
Sometimes it feels like I got a little voice in my head telling me to do some really dangerous things. For reasons I don't quite understand. Don't tell them about me. Oh, sorry.
Just gonna shake her head again. Can't even hang out on my own roof in this weird whatever the hell happened to me.
Oh, you could have just said I'm a lizard right now.
I did not have vocal cords that were capable of doing that.
Okay, that's fair. I guess I've got to go call Olivia and tell her not to go do animal control at the place.
Let her come.
Oh, okay.
It's funny.
Damn straight it is. I'm gonna go find a good place to watch.
She's gonna turn back into a lizard and hang out on the roof.
Oh my god, you guys. Fucking assholes.
You love us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tempted. Now I am tempted to show up as a luchador and break your brain.
Well, you don't know that this is happening.
Oh.
So.
yeah. Scather was feeding me what the lizard was doing. He was feeding me lines.
Oh my god.
I wanted to wait
So-
until a good moment.
Olivia, you know where when Fred and Fred are. I
Yeah.
don't know. Can't remember if you've been there in game or if you story wise you've been there, but
I don't know if I've been here in game, but I definitely know where Winifred lives. We had a whole conversation
Yeah.
about how like the two of us have been here the longest out of anybody, and we've like
yeah. Plus, Fred would have told you like the address. It's like, hey, come get the lizards. Where?
where.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
I show up eventually.
Yeah. How do you meet her, Fred?
I'm waiting inside the house as I was told to.
Good,
Right?
good boy.
And where's the lizard?
Winifred is on the short roof.
Mm-hmm.
No, the side one, the one that doesn't go up all the way.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of in
That's
the
the
middle.
firework watching roof.
Yeah, she's just kind of in the middle, chilling there.
Sees it.
Yeah.
It's weird to see one so chill. Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't the middle of the night and this wasn't a subterranean species, it would look like a lizard basking in the sun,
Yeah.
if not for being nighttime.
Hey there. You're awfully chill up there.
She's gonna wave.
Does that bearded dragon arm wave thing.
Squints.
I don't know if a lizard can move their hand back and forth.
I doubt it. This is funny though.
Squints. Hey Fred, you in there?
Fred is sitting up top in the second floor,
Fred.
out of earshot.
There is silence from Fred, and that might be a bad thing if you know Fred.
Yeah. I'm so mad at you two.
Not yet, you're not.
I wave back. Do you? What do you do?
Is this lizard built more like lizard in the hips and legs and stuff, or is it built more like jackal in the hips and legs and stuff?
Definitely more lizard-like. Jackal is more of a behavior description than actual physical.
Okay, then
In that case,
this should be physically possible then. You know how
Lizard in the hips, jackal in the lips.
no,
oh jeez.
you know how lizards can lift themselves up and just kind of sit on their back legs, but it looks really weird.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
She does that.
Carnivore?
There's no reaction when you ask that.
Is there a way to get up there?
There's probably being someone's house. There's probably a ladder.
Sure. I'll grab the ladder. Set it up. Do take a look to make sure you're not waiting at the top to bite me.
She's just sitting there like that. It's hard to miss her.
I will climb up the ladder. Ooh, look at this lizard. Very confused.
But yeah, there's a ladder on the side, right?
Yeah, I mean,
God.
it's easy to find a ladder.
Yeah, or it's in the garage. But yeah, you secure a ladder.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Fred, you're inside and you hear a ladder clatter on the side of the house. It's like, oh, Olivia's here.
Oh, that's good. I put down my Stephen King Skeleton Crew short story book collection and go to the side of the house that I heard the ladder thump on.
So you peer through one of the large bedrooms out the window and see Olivia starting to climb the ladder with the
Okay.
catch pole.
I
Sure.
wait until Olivia goes past up ways before I open the window and stick my head out. Hey, Olivia, you getting the thing?
Oh God.
I'm not gonna have you roll to
I'm
maintain
gonna
your
roll
dose.
to see
This
if I
isn't
fall.
D&D.
Don't
Oh, no,
I'm gonna
it's
roll.
not D&D.
I want to see what happens.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. Fuck.
Oh,
It
jeez, you're
doesn't look
jumpy
very
today,
cool
huh?
as you like clatter and like cling to the ladder, but you don't fall at the least.
I just want to
Come
say
on,
that I
you don't-
appreciate Fred just immediately going along with this.
You don't scare. You don't surprise someone when they're on a fucking ladder, Fred.
I don't feel I was that surprising.
I didn't know where you were. I called for you.
Yeah, I was in a house as you told me to be.
Has anything happened since I called Lizard? Done anything?
No, I mean I've been up here just in case it comes through a window or something, or decides to come down.
The lizard's at
Finishes
the top of the
climbing up.
ladder.
What?
The lizard's at the top of the ladder while you're having this
Stop.
conversation.
Looks up at the lizard.
Yeah, it's just chilling out, just staring at you.
Can I investigate a mystery?
Sure. How do you do so?
I mean, this is more like I'm trying to put together mentally that like Fred's house, animal that's acting smarter than it should. It's with
Okay.
Fred.
Well, also you have had hallucinations of a very passive predatory animal, your endofauna yourself.
Yeah, but Fred's seen this one.
Fred's seeing this one. We're both nuts if it's
Yeah,
happening.
it's not a hallucination. This is something Fred's seen.
Are you sure it's Fred or
Oh my God!
Fred?
Jesus.
Something's definitely up with this lizard.
Wow, I'm rolling really good. I'm gonna roll like dog shit tonight. I'm rolling good on these useless ones.
You there, DZ?
Fred?
Yeah.
Yes.
Before, as you go, Fred, you hear at your hip your walkie-talkie crackle
Mhm.
Fuck.
as Hanzo's voice comes over.
Olivia.
Fred and the lizard are looking at you expectantly. Like,
Well,
"Gonna answer?"
grabs the radio. Hello?
Olivia.
Yes?
Are you available?
Hanzo? What?
Are you available?
For what?
There are jackal lizards loose tonight.
I see. There are jackal lizards loose. I'm looking at one.
Where are you?
Fred's house.
Yeah, we got a jackal lizard problem.
How many are there?
There's
I'm
one.
gonna turn back
There's
to
some-
Winterfred and go, no, don't get Hanzo involved.
Fucking Hanzo, you just hear Winterfred, you, and it cuts out.
You know, Carlos and Tommy, you also heard this exchange from your radio because it's all one channel.
Yeah.
Tommy just looks up from his newspaper like Tom in that one image, like, what the fuck are they doing over the radio?
Winifred, what the fuck?
Carlos, his head pops up out of the gigantic, almost complete at this point, Ciandre animatronic, just like, I have no fucking idea what's going on with them. Head back down in.
Winifred, what the fuck? Did you know, Fred? Did you know this is Winifred?
I was
This is a
presented
complete
an
surprise
opportunity.
to me.
Fred,
Yeah, with that sharp roll, you know Fred knew that this was Winifred.
He's not high. He's lying more as a joke than as a genuine attempt to obfuscate.
Fuck off, Fred.
I was presented an
Climb
opportunity.
back
I
down.
thought Fred was asleep when I climbed up on my own
In
roof.
my defense, I only found out it was Winifred after I called you, and then I kept the joke going because it would be funny.
Okay, well, it's not funny when I've almost fallen off this goddamn ladder 3 times.
Well, you know, I didn't think that you were that unstable on ladders.
Olivia just gonna launch herself through the window and just strangle Fred to death.
It's wrestling practice.
She climbs down. Hanzo, don't worry about here. It was Winifred can apparently turn into a jack-o'-lizard now.
Surprise!
Johanna in the passenger seat looks over at you, Hanzo, and goes, "She can what?"
Oh shit!
You hear over the radio, Olivia.
Who's there with you?
Wakefield.
Carlos pipes in, you know, the person he's been traveling with, like, all week. Because of work.
And Olivia, you hear as there's like, hey
No, I
Olivia,
didn't know.
hey everybody.
I didn't know. I've been kind of really busy lately.
Johanna's like laughing and she hands it back to you. Hanzo. She's just like, okay, this is hilarious.
He does
Hi.
not press the. He doesn't press the. He doesn't communicate through the radio. This is what I have to deal with.
Oh, wow.
My sympathies. And she goes, it really is a testament to your management skills.
Johanna? Is that your name? Joanna?
Yes,
Which was it?
Agent Wakefield's fine if that's.
I mean, whichever you prefer, it's your name.
Looks at Hanzo's like just off the radio. It's like, she trying to flirt with me?
No.
It's possible.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's possible, but also she stopped because she's currently waiting.
Oh, I know.
But like you know,
Yeah, Hanzo's answers I don't know with her.
Okay.
But
Agent Wakefield's fine for now. We haven't really.
all right, Agent Wakefield. What's this about? More more jack lizards.
Right.
Actual jack
Winifred, you're
lizards
still
this
up on the roof hearing this.
Yeah, she just crouched on the edge going, actual jack-o'-lizards this time?
Olivia looks up at you and mouths, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, we don't want false alarms.
we just apprehended a family of jackal-lizards that somehow managed to find their way into the local butcher.
You're kidding me.
No, I have the bite marks to prove it.
Shit. Well, where are you now?
Local butcher. It's fine.
Okay,
now.
you're still there.
Contained.
Thank you for the information that I will need to order from out of town for the restaurant.
I'll head over.
That
Brad-
won't be necessary. I think they'll be cleaned up before you arrive.
I mean, but I might be able. This is my job, Hanzo. Come on.
You're not on the clock right now.
I'm always on the clock.
I do
And
have
she,
my hands in his smell, so
all right, Fred.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, you owe me steaks, Fred.
Unfortunately, all of my budget has been going to my kids visiting.
That's right. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You might get off this time. Next time though, steaks. She started walking away.
Does Winifred? Do you think she knows the other meaning of the phrase "get off"?
no, and we're not going to tell her.
Yeah, I hope not.
I avoided having children, so I don't have to have that talk ever. It's not happening.
I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you in front of your kids.
She's gonna look
I
down
mean,
at you and go, "Good
odds
luck."
odds are Fred's gonna do it way before
No, she says that like she's like getting in her car and she's like pauses and like says that and then closes the door.
Ponder what you said and think if you have the power to do that.
And I'm gonna
as she goes, Fred's gonna be like, "That's called being a parent 101."
I'm going to the butcher.
Okay.
Hey, does anybody have a spare set of 8/16 wrenches? I don't have enough, and I don't think the store is open anymore.
Can I have my radio on me after I've transformed?
Mm-hmm.
I can look in the garage. And she's
That'd be great. I need like 3 at the same time to properly tighten this thing. Why did I order equipment from out of town?
Okay. So she'll go look for that while Olivia's driving to the butcher shop.
Yeah, and as I'm going, I'm gonna get on the radio. I'm coming over, Anzo. I'm gonna, escaped animals. That's kind of my place of expertise. No offense, but I might pick up on something you haven't.
Very well.
Where else have they been spotted? Anywhere else?
This is all
This
we
is
know
the
so
first.
far.
Also, Zero, this lizard is hypnotic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the eye lizard.
Is there reports of anything getting out of any of the new entrances?
This is the first.
How'd you hear about it? Did it attack someone besides you?
They showed up all of a sudden at the butcher shop, and the workers cleared out. No one got hurt.
All right, that's good. How many is a group?
Mother, 3 children.
Okay, that could have been much worse. Mother could, they could get
I would know.
protective.
She's the one who bit me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's actually one of the kids.
Right.
Yeah, the mothers, they could have gotten protective. Not all lizards are big on the whole child rearing thing, but I guess jack lizards are an exception.
Most
We-
endofauna are an exception.
Yeah, it comes with the territory of living inside something.
Nope.
And again, most parents aren't big on raising their children.
Johanna's just sitting next to you, Hans, or just like eyebrow quirk, just silent.
Excuse me, my parents.
He does not transmit this through the radio. This is the cost of the results I get.
my god, fuck you.
I mean, they seem to be effective. That was a high success rate.
Indeed.
Eventually I show up.
Yeah. Oh, there was something she was going to. Shoot. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Olivia goes fast enough that she's not going above the speed limit, but not slow enough that she's not below. She's going as close
Okay.
to it as she can safely.
And as you're driving, there's a point where you pass by, like you have to pull off to the side of the road as a ambulance and a fire truck go passing by in the other direction.
Oh.
But
Huh. Hey,
as
Hanzo.
you,
Hanzo,
I'm here.
was there an ambulance or fire truck there when you got there?
Looked at Wakefield. No, that's no.
No, because I just saw a pair going the opposite direction from you guys.
It may not
Hold on.
necessarily be Indofauna related.
Hold on. I'm gonna switch the frequency of my radio around.
Okay.
Try and see if I can like pick up on like a police frequency
okay,
or
and
anything.
as you're doing that, Carlos. Oh, so Tommy, were you there with Carlos, or are you down at your place?
Down in his place. It's funnier.
Okay.
That visual.
Yeah, you did find like an abandoned chair that you hauled down there, so it's nice and comfy. Maybe a little musty, but it's a free chair. But yeah,
Can't
it's
have
just
this chair.
funny to see. Imagine Tommy down there with like reading the newspaper by lantern light.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Carlos,
He burped.
as you're, embedded in the machinery, you hear the phone ring for the it's the number that's specifically for the building that the ride is in. Carlos. Oh, BRB.
He just came back.
Carlos. Yeah, so I did not see your briefest of BRB messages, and then I seen transitioned right to you, and I'm just like, that is my bad. So
No, you're good.
you're down in you're working on the animatronic when you hear the phone ring, and it's a separate number for the diner and the ride.
So the phone rings. I answer it.
Yep, you
Going,
crawl
"Yellow?"
out of the animatronic, and you
Yellow?
hear Estella go, Carlos, got a big thing here.
Big
Gonna wanna
thing
see
here.
this. Well, it left, but there's a big hole. You're just gonna have to come see the Polaroids I got. You're gonna love this.
Oh boy.
Maybe bring some of your friends. It's Endofauna related.
Fantastic. Let me alert my friends, and maybe I alert the people in charge, because I heard rumor that there was something down at the butchery this morning. I will give them a call, and I will be right there.
All right, sounds good.
Right there.
Just watch out. There are cops and stuff around, so they may be pushy, but
It's the police. I'm not worried about it.
yep. So
Hangs up.
she hangs up.
Hangs up. Looks over to Tommy, who's been reading a newspaper with an earshot. Tommy.
No, Tommy's actually down in his place.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that when you were gone. Sorry.
It's like,
But Tommy's just chilling down in his chair, his lazy boy.
fair enough. Carl's gonna go to the radio. So something crawled out of a pit in the trailer park. Tommy, and you want to come up so I can give you a ride over?
Might as well.
Allegedly, and like this is over the radio, allegedly it's endofauna related. So I'm gonna go take a look.
We'll have to repeat when Nora's back. Well, no, she was flipping channels, so she wouldn't have heard that.
Yep.
You want me to come check it
Everyone
out?
else thought you heard that.
Honestly, the usual crew over there is excited, so wouldn't be a bad thing. They've told me to bring people. It's gone,
Yeah.
but
Winifred, you are a deep ranger, so
it wouldn't hurt to have a deep ranger along to verify. You know what I mean?
She's gonna.
that.
I'm gonna
Oh, sorry,
say
go ahead.
that we're still on the roof, and I'm having this conversation crouched on the ed, and Fred is still in the window.
Mhm.
So she's gonna look over at him and is like, "You wanna come with, or do you wanna stay here and keep getting ready for your kids to show up?"
Playing that prank on Olivia made me realize that I probably should take a break. So yeah, let's go together.
I don't know if we count this as a break, but okay.
I'm counting it as a prank. Listen, I haven't pulled many pranks in my time, and that felt like a prank, and it went off without a hitch.
Oh no, that was definitely a prank. She said a break.
Oh.
She didn't know if she would count that as a break.
It's a break to me. It's not chores. I've been doing so much fucking dusting.
I noticed.
So much dusting.
I didn't know it was so dusty up here. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right, I'm gonna pop off the roof and go to get my bike.
Okay. But you two are in motion. Tommy, you go up and meet Carlos.
He's drinking.
Non-alcoholic.
But you all start riding off towards the trailer park as Olivia's heading towards the butcher shop, which rest of you're heading off to the trailer park. It's not too far from Carlos's diner, so it won't take too long. But it doesn't take too long before you see like the flashing of siren lights, and also the yellow flashing of like work truck headlights, not headlights, the flashing lights. And you approach the trailer park, and there's like a small crowd. It's not like there's no like news vans yet or anything, but there are people who are like, oh, what's going on over here? Just looky-loos. So, but as you go up, Carlos and Tommy, if anything you guys wanted to chat about while driving, or we could just jump to the scene. Yeah, I just don't want to, deny anybody chances to talk, of course.
No, that's fair. So, Tommy, I have been doing my best to get this thing operating. I think I'm getting a little overly ambitious by making an almost 1-to-1 scale fully mechanical Ciandre, but I gotta replace that stupid bear. There's nothing in the endofauna ecosystem that I'm modeling everything after that really fits a stupid bear. I tried my best with that, like El Chupacabra, but no, it's just ugly as all get out, and I can tear it apart and reuse it for something else.
Maybe it could be like a giant tardigrade.
You know what? If I put it back over where back in the old Wild West ride, remember where they had that scene with the wolves and the mountain lion fighting each other? If I put it back there, I could probably make it fit right.
There you go.
Okay. But it's also at some point I'm gonna need your help to lift that thing into the ride. It has become more than a one-man thing.
How big is it now?
I think when it'll be put together, it'll be about 17 feet long. It's in
it's
3 parts.
Not, it's not 1-to-1 because that would be absurdly big. Thundar's like kind of ridiculously big.
Thundar is the size of a Tyrannosaurus. He just has to emulate that.
Well, not that big. He's more like
The size of a
saltwater
bull.
crocodile if he had swole, or if someone gave anchor arms to a Nile or saltwater crocodile, but bigger.
Fair enough. So it's about 17 feet long, but it's in 3 pieces right now, and I think that's how we'll load it in. There's a tail
Not
that'll do
quite like acid.
There's a tail that'll do a big splash just before the river drop. And then like the body of it houses a lot of the mechanics, which will be above water, but I'm getting the waterproofing installed in place underneath. And then the head, which has a couple of different motor parts, and that's probably the heaviest of the 3. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna suspend that thing to look realistic.
You may want to also call like Fred and Hanzo.
I was planning on it, but like right now it's not there's apparently something crawling out of a hole in the ground, so I gotta go take a look.
Yeah. So as you're approaching the trailer park, Olivia, what you missed was Estella called Carlos and alerted him that something was digging underneath the trailer park.
Oh,
And as you missed Carlos going over the radio. So there's something digging a pit around the trailer park, endofauna related, but you didn't hear that because you were flipping through the channels.
I did.
But
I
you
did
do
tell
hear
hold
like
on a second. I did warn Hanzo that I was doing that though.
Yeah. But you flick over to random channel, and it's not a police band, but you do hear what sounds like one of the work teams, like one of the work trucks. It's like you hear them say, "Yeah, sinkhole appeared over at the trailer park. Gonna go assess it and see what the damage is. Make sure it doesn't swallow up any of the trailers."
Okay, hearing that, I'll flip back.
And that would be in
Hanzo.
the ambulance and the fire truck we're heading.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's there. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, flip back. Hanzo.
Go ahead.
Hanzo. I flipped through the channels, and there's a sinkhole in the trailer park.
Gonna look to Wakefield.
Didn't you hear me?
No, I was flipping through channels.
Sorry, I've been spacing out. But whatever came first, the first mention of there being sinkholes, he would have looked to Wakefield and was like, think that's how they got up on the surface.
That would probably be a good bet. She looks out and she steps out. She goes, "You guys got the rest of this cleared up? We got another report we gotta handle." And they're loading up the jackal lizards into these they're basically like reinforced kennels, like wild animal containers. Like, oh yeah, sure, we got this. These things won't be getting out when they wave you off. So. But it's pretty much the same team that showed up to scrape up the macro swarm goo.
Yeah, I'm gonna head that way. I'm gonna follow behind the ambulance and the fire truck.
Okay, so everyone's converging on the trailer park.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So, driving off to there, Carlos and Tommy, you be the first ones to show up, and then Fred and Winifred not far behind because they're on their bikes, so it wouldn't take long. Unless, Fred, you wanted to take the classic, but...
Yeah, we'll go on our bikes. They're way cooler, and I'm trying to get really good at the motorcycle riding thing.
Yeah, you're going to have to show up with the classic to get your kids. I think Winifred probably had to stop you and explain. It's like, they're going to be so impressed when I rev up to the bus depot to pick them up, and it's like, you're gonna pick them up in their luggage with just the bike.
In the sidecar, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, would Fred have gotten a sidecar by this point?
I
With an
think
employee
he
person?
would have gotten a sidecar. Because he
Yeah,
wants to
you would
take
have been able to.
I mean,
swerve.
even if it takes even if to do it one at a time, he wants to take the kids out on the bike.
And you know what?
Show them
It
their old
wouldn't even
man's still
cost them that much.
cool.
You're friends with a scrapyard owner, a junkyard
Yeah.
owner. So
And
should
a
be able
bunch
to
of
find.
motorcyclists in a way.
Yeah,
You made a
So,
lot of friends. At
actually,
that bar.
yeah, because yeah, you have the friends at the bar and the scrapyard owner. She's literally the sister-in-law of Phil the biker. So yeah, you would definitely be able to find this. Yeah, you found a very nice secondhand sidecar, no problem. So, but yeah, you pull up as you see the police are trying to keep people back. There's not like a large presence. You see a fire truck and ambulances there just in case. You see a couple of the sheriff department's vehicles there, as well as various work trucks. And
Right.
as you start appearing, Olivia,
Yep.
what were you saying?
I was going to go up to talk to them.
Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, as
I assume I'd
people,
probably be first there because I was following directly behind them.
well, not quite actually. Carlos, you're the first on scene as Estella approaches you and Tommy. But no, I'm not trying to like deny you, Nora. It's just
No. No, you're fine. I just like, that's a good point because Carlos
Yeah,
would be
but-
fine.
yeah, no, and basically everyone shows up at the same time. I'm sorry. So
No,
Convenience.
So group shows up, and Estella kind of peels away from the group where you see Gail and Darius also standing watching as Estella hurries over. She goes, Carlos, hey everybody.
Hey, heard you got a sinkhole.
Yeah. And she glances over. Thankfully, not our end of the lot. And you realize it's like theirs is tucked further back in a different corner. This one was
Oh, that's
closer
good.
to the. And she goes, we were further back, but we definitely heard it. Thought there was an earthquake for a moment, but then then we realized it moved. It was like a localized earthquake, and it kept moving. And well, she goes starts to reach into her like her vest, but then she stops when she sees Johanna just standing there with Hanzo. There's a new friend.
New friend, you're good.
This is Agent Wakefield.
Oh, poor potent.
Yes.
Man,
Like
Wakefield's like,
leans in a little tighter. Hanzo got in a little bit of trouble, so now he has a buddy. But she's cool.
and Wakefield's like, right, you're part of the Falcon Lake Witness. I've read some of your magazines, and Estella just kind of gives a slow nod and goes, well, you'll probably learn about this anyways, but well, she reaches into her vest and pulls out a handful of Polaroids. She goes, I was on hand and I offered to take some photos for insurance purposes for the guy. Bill, decent guy, kind of down on his luck, just kind of.
Isn't that the
Yeah,
guy who goes to the diner and was talking about how he's getting a whole new jacuzzi put in behind his trailer?
Yeah, and she.
Oh no, it's the jacuzzi, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Oh.
as you pick up the Polaroid, after the most initial thing that grabs your attention, which we'll get to in a second, yeah, you do see there is like the jacuzzi kind of split down the middle, and it's not even like they could have hauled it up and moved it somewhere else. It like structural damage to this thing, and it just cracked it, and This thing is a mess. But what you all see as you look at this
Oh no.
Polaroid, it's not the best lighting. It was just a flash from the camera and some, the ambient lighting from the lights of the house. But from the sinkhole, which is about 10, 15 feet wide, if you had to guess, craning up from the rubble of like the collapsed like stone and partial concrete on the pieces of the jacuzzi, you see curving up on a long neck the armored head of a very large, bleary-eyed looking tortoise.
What?
Hey, hey, Winifred.
But with a
Winifred?
more severe beak. And Winifred, you would instantly recognize it. You, Fred from the museum, and Olivia, you actually basically pretty much anyone would recognize this as. Johanna goes, "Oh shit, we've got a roaming mole tortoise."
A what?
Mole
tortoise.
tortoise.
Mole tortoise.
Great.
Or a mortis, or a mole tortoise. Yeah, it's a.
It's a tunneling tortoise.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can reuse the fucking weasel animatronics.
Yeah,
Sorry, my head's been in the
Johanna
rock for a
and
bit.
Stella both look at you like, what?
This is where your head is right now.
I have been head in on renovations for the ride for the last week. Sorry.
He's just gonna. I'm just gonna start walking towards the direction of the sinkhole.
So is Wakefield.
After a minute, Carlos.
She glances at you, Olivia, but she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I'll follow to the sinkhole.
We're all gonna go to the stereotypical.
Let's all go to the
gawking
sinkhole. Let's all go to the sinkhole. Let's all go to the sinkhole. That was the treat.
It's hard to harmonize when you can't look at each other.
Yeah.
And there's the delay.
I
Yeah.
hope our audience enjoyed that.
But yeah, it's like, all right, large endofauna, burrowing. Where is it gone?
Yeah. Let's say a mortoise.
What do we
Did it
all
emerge from the
collectively know?
hole?
Tommy don't know Jack.
He's just asking the
You just saw
witnesses,
a
the people
picture
who were
of a
actually
giant
present.
tortoise. Yeah, and as you approach, you see this guy Bill looking very stressed out as he's talking to a cop. It's not Bentley, just one of the other sheriff's deputies. Says, "What would you say you asked him about, Hanzo?"
Large endofauna. Did it emerge from the hole?
And they turn and look at you. The cops kind of has this look of annoyance, like, "Sir, this is a word for pluripotent." Kind of looks at you and Wakefield, and she gives a nod. She goes, "Yes, we heard about an endofauna encounter," and she's like looking around at the hole. The guy, Bill, goes, "No, it And as you look at the hole, you realize the depression is bigger than you saw in the pictures because it has partially collapsed. Right, it looks like it's collapsed as Thankfully for Bill, it doesn't look like his house was in range of it, but good chunk of his backyard is now a hole, a divot.
This your property?
Yeah, well, I mean, I live here, and you see the remains of a jacuzzi. Goes, "I just got that installed last week. I was waiting for the water to get clean after the rain.
You have my condolences, sir.
Algae." And then he looks, he goes, "So, giant turtles. That's a superorganism thing, right? Pluripotent has can reimburse me for this, right?" And Wakefield kind of exchanges a glance with you, and she goes, "We can put you in contact. We can't make any promises, but we can put you in contact. There is insurance." And he goes, "What good is to me is insurance after it's happened?" And she
Well,
goes,
typically, insurance is a just-in-case measure, but I gotcha. Hey, if you
this time the
need,
cop does look at you like a little suspiciously, but he sees you wearing like animal control gear.
yeah.
So he's just like,
Hey, I'm Olivia. I work at the preserve. I'm sure. Honestly, we've probably bumped into each other at least once. If you've ever had any animal problems.
uh-huh.
But if you once this is over and you need a hand, call the preserve. Ask for Olivia. If I've got the free time, I'll be happy to help you fix some stuff up.
Oh, thanks. But but to answer your question, sir, as he looks back to Hanzo, no, it didn't. It just seemed to poke its head out of the hole, and then it went back to digging and disappeared. And then after it left, the rest of the gestures, it fell in.
Have any more sinkholes opened up here? Or is it the only
cop
one?
shakes his head. He goes, "The only one here. We're keeping an ear out for any other reports across town, but so far nothing."
Understood.
Yeah, I remember hearing, and this copy's just like, he goes, "I remember hearing about these things over at the museum when I took my kids there. When they never heard about them getting to the surface like that. They're always inside it."
Yeah, I'll be looking to the Deep Ranger. Winifred.
And that's for what you know, Winifred. These things, because like pretty much every other endofauna, they are uniquely adapted to survive within the superorganism. They usually don't last long when they get out, and they usually don't have a reason to get out. Like accidents or just animal curiosity. But seeing one burrow this far from the mountains, it's odd.
What's your assessment?
My assessment is this is weird. They shouldn't be out this far. They don't come up to the surface very often, and if they do, they don't last long.
Well, knowing animals, you think some kind of threat down below has pushed it up to the surface?
What could be?
Would that
What could be?
Would that be something that would happen?
Yeah. I mean, you have heard of and seen animals with endofauna animals displaced when a different predator gets moved in or displaced, or you've heard of animals being displaced from their territory, but never drawn out of the superorganism like that.
And how big is the Mortoise?
From the pictures, this one looks to be. It's not a fully sized one, but this looks to be like a. Winifred, you'd be able to guess just from the size of the head. The shell would probably be about 8 to 10 feet tall at the tallest, with about maybe like 15 foot from end to end for the shell, with large limbs. The front legs. You know how a sulcata tortoise has those like really large spike-like scales? It's sort of like that, but think Monster Hunter-ified, where they are just these very large spikes that are adapted for tearing through the flesh of the superorganism.
So we're dealing with a tortoise the size of a truck.
Basically.
What could scare a Mortoise?
He's gonna share a look with you.
What?
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid you would know that very few things prey on them just because they're so big, and they can do the turtle thing where they pull into their shell, and few things can really like get through their shell or their armored limbs. Plus, they have a very nasty bite if they're cornered.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not going to get into the details of it, but he will clarify with you, Olivia. We happen to know there are some very dangerous organisms down in
Yeah, but this one's maybe not the more dangerous, but it's one that's seldom messed with.
Winifred's gonna cut a look at you and mouth at you, raw head.
She'll look, give you a look like, duh. But
That would definitely scare this thing.
yes,
All right.
but we don't know that's involved at all. And also, Agent Wakefield's right here.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying it out loud.
Oh, hey, Fred.
Yeah?
So because you one of the things you spent a luck point last arc, and
I spent
one of the things about the mundane is you get to find things.
I do.
And as you kind of stepped past, people weren't paying attention to you as they're all discussing. People. It was just that momentary where nobody was really glancing. As you step down, probably like listening to that voice in your head, it's like, "Hey, Fred, you should go investigate that. Take a look around." And like, that sounds like a great idea. So you've listened to your luck as you step down, and amid this, it's like you've seen sinkholes, I'm sure, where it's like the ground just kind of collapsed inwards and you're standing on this unstable concrete because the jacuzzi wasn't on like just dirt. There was like a concrete platform for the back porch. But stepping down, you see this like you notice it because there's like a bit of like a splash of red, like old or like blood. As you reach down and kind of pull out, you're like, aha! As you pull out what looks to be a spike-like scale, almost like a railroad spike. Or, closer more like to a ankylosaur kind of scale, or even as you just lifted up, and it looks like one of the scales that would have been on the forelimbs. And the cops turns and sees you, he's like, what the out of there, that's unstable ground. And people start like they notice you and they're like,
Fred, I found a cool rock.
Get over here.
I'm getting over there. I keep it though.
You get out, and looking at it, you realize it looks to be a scale that got ripped out through the digging. Where it's like one end, there's like the raw tissue.
That's a sign Godzilla will be coming to shore very soon.
Or the alligator snapping turtle relative. Bigger and meaner.
And Wakefield kind of steps over and goes, what'd you find there?
Cool rock.
It's not a rock.
Where you see this cool rock? Oh, I'm working with Hanzo.
Oh.
She holds that hand. Agent Wakefield, I work for Pluripotent. Same department as Hanzo.
Fred, I'm also work for Pluripotent. I'm a night security guard.
Yeah, I think I've seen you around before. But would you mind if I took a look at that?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give it to my kids.
Oh. And she like takes it and goes, so you have kids, huh? She's looking at it.
Yeah, they live with their mom, but they're coming over to visit their cool dad in Arizona.
Oh.
Well, that's cool.
It is.
Don't they like redemption?
And
I will Hanzo,
take a look at this scale.
Yeah, she waves you over, Hanzo, and you and Olivia step over, and she goes, This definitely looks like a mole tortoise scale, and I'm afraid you'd be able to recognize it too. Sometimes they do like get chipped off, but they're kind of like sort of like sharks where they regrow because just how high
They're all
intensity
wear and
it is.
tear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's weird to see one snap off at the root like that. That means it's usually because it's usually just the scale breaks off like part way rather than the whole scale falls off. But so it's like it's just a little odd that the whole one was like left behind. But from the size, this definitely looks like it's not a fully adult. Like a it still has some growing to do. But as you know, bull tortoises they can grow for centuries if some of the biggest ones can be believed.
Yeah, I mean, standard tortoises can live a very long time, and they don't happen to live in a super meat hell.
Yeah. Nope. So, but Olivia, not Olivia, Wakefield, she's like, well, that definitely looks like a small tortoise scale. Uh, Here, and she's like, here, hold this for a second, Fred, and she has you hold it, and she reaches into her jacket and pulls out like a little specimen jar and using a knife and tweezers cuts off a portion of the raw tissue. And she goes, I'd probably keep that in like she looks to one friend. He needs to decontaminate that and clean it before he gives it to anyone.
Yeah. I'll do
Then
that.
she looks to you, Hanzo, and she goes, we should probably take this to lab and like with the tissue sample.
Yeah, could be that this thing is sick. Sick animals never behave predictably.
And that
Yeah.
could be an explanation for why I left. It could, I've heard of deep sea animals getting lost near the surface when they, are dying and sick.
Yeah, typically that part straight up kills them usually.
I'll
And
go
it's-
call this in.
Yep, and she nods and goes, yeah, that probably will do the same here. And
Yeah, poor thing.
um,
Do either of you know any tranquilizer that could put this thing to sleep?
Winifred, you would know that there have been times where they have had to be sedated to move them from like they started burrowing into places that Claripoint didn't want them, like infrastructure places within the superorganism. So, but it's not like you can dart them because it actually takes specialized equipment where it's more like you're jabbing them with a hypodermic spear. Like the equipment is there, but it's specialized. Like it's also you've had to use that also on other organisms because it's like you gotta have that arm strength of a spear combined with vampire strength to get through some of the scales and chitin down there.
Yeah, you can. But it takes highly specialized equipment. You have to get right in their face, and you have to be strong enough to pierce them.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes, although you do know that sometimes, not gassing them sometimes works if they can be like in a space that has low enough airflow. Which, tunnels that aren't living probably don't have that great of airflow. So you would probably think that might be a little more effective in, earth and rock tunnels.
Gassing them might work, especially if it's digging through rock and not, a porous flesh thing.
All right.
Because that's one of the more disturbing. Well, I don't know. People might find it cool, but some people call it disturbing. But that's one of the details about the superorganism is it does breathe. It breathes inside and out.
That's why it had a
some of the
coffin.
entrances they found are like the spiracles to exchange air with the surface.
That's why in the original story it had a coughing fit.
Yep.
All right. What do you know? What's in the gas that would put it to sleep, or what would need to be?
Is it special gas or just
Wakefield
normal?
shrugs. I'm not one of the techs or the researchers.
Well, hey, no offense. I'm asking the Deep Ranger.
Yeah, would I know if it was a special gas or was it just like any regular anesthetic?
Yeah, it's kind of like an anesthetic gas. You don't really recall if it was like specialized because it would be kind of like basically the default ones like you used to like you call the other rangers call it fumigating when you drive out chupacabras that get into places like too close to the flensers and stuff. But
I don't
so
know.
yeah, the typical anesthetic gas that you use would be what you use on that.
I think anything that works on an animal will work as long as you have enough.
All right. Well, there's something to keep an eye out for.
It's just enough with a truck-sized animal.
Yeah, not ideal, but
Now, I do hope that you, as citizen, even though you work for the preserve, will leave it to the professionals meant to handle endofauna escapes. Like, this is a legality thing.
Um.
I mean, if you wish to assist us, that could be a thing, but I'd strongly recommend you don't go off on your own.
Like, Olivia looks like someone just spit in her cereal
It's
right in
been
front of her
tolerated
face.
up to a point because you do work with Hanzo.
It's like no one's ever said this to me before. Oh, well, I'm obviously going to be helping you two. That's Is that not why you called me in the first place, Sanzo?
Hanzo's
I
off at
called
the
you to
car calling it in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he called
that-
you to inform you
fair.
that there were jackal lizards loose. Just keep an eye out.
And
Yeah,
then you
rephrasing that.
found out
Is that
about
not
the.
why? Is that not why you called me in the first place? Was for help?
No, it was
Advisory.
more of a professional courtesy. Warning you because more than likely, if were more loose, you would be called before we could intercept it.
Well, that's it's fair, I guess.
There are many calls that we've intercepted and handled that were directed towards the preserve and other animal control services. It's
Do you?
quite literally part of our job.
Yeah, and I've done plenty of work directly with both regular fauna and the occasional escaped endofauna. That's how me and Hanzo met, even. It was catching some chupacabra. I'm not going to sit and let an animal hurt itself or other people.
Well, that's admirable.
It's not just noble, it's what I do.
Well, it says at you, Hanzo, and goes, before looking back at you, goes, this was not an attack. It was merely advice.
Look,
Please don't take that as an attack against your character. I know you've done good work with Hanzo.
I'm just, new person to our dynamic. It's fine. You're not. Yeah, well, this is the first time we meet in person. Puts out her hand.
You know,
Olivia.
Yes. Wakefield.
Does she shake my
And
hand?
yes. She
Okay.
shakes her hand and goes, yes. Agent Wakefield.
Yeah, I am your animal expert. It's my whole thing. I have done a lot of research into the creatures of the organism and beyond. It's the only one who would have more first-hand experience is Winifred being a deep ranger. Uh, but I am the animal wrangler, so to speak. Actually, when I heard there was death lizards, I grabbed this. She holds up the grabber. So
Oh, yes.
Is it
it
So,
was so awkward.
Meanwhile, in the background, so anything else you can?
Carlos.
Carlos is like talking with the trio. Is like, all right. So anything else about this that I need to know about besides a giant tortoise digging a hole in your guys' backyard, relatively speaking?
Darius kind of goes, well, I mean, what are the chances of it showing up here? I mean, as far as I know, which he looks to Stelly, because superhumanism is like pretty deep, very far below us at this part, right?
Yep.
She nods and goes, yeah, there's like layers of rock.
We're not too terribly close to Hanzo and the other detective, right? Or Agent Wakefield. Sorry, not detective.
Actually, I'd say the trio are keeping their distance because everyone else approached closer, past kind of like the cordon.
Yeah, so Carlos actually like leaned down a little bit and like gestured them closer.
Yeah, I think
So,
you and
like-
Tommy are there with them.
Oh yeah, no, Tommy's with us. We fuck with Tommy. Tommy's great.
Yeah, I want to get Tommy more involved.
It's like, so this stays between us. But a couple of things we've been dealing with are encroaches that are much closer to town. Like, those folks that were doing all that smuggling, they weren't driving in the middle of nowhere to get their stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Most of those openings are now under Potent's charge and care. But just because we found a few doesn't mean we found them all.
yeah, that makes sense. And oh yeah, I saw something about that. Gale goes. There's chatter about. I found the headless, partially eaten body of, like, glances at you, Percival Phillips.
Ooh. Yeah, we kind of found on the down low again. We kind of found him and chased him into where they had been cut into the superorganism down below. We lost track of him, but I can't say I'm the most surprised that he spooked something else. Especially if things like that are this casually close to the surface. Who knows what's running down beneath our feet?
I
Could
need
be-
you to do a manipulate someone to try and convince them.
Okay. Look, I'm not a murderer. I didn't kill him.
You,
Okay. So it's.
And to be fair,
Okay,
it's
well,
it's the truth. Pretty much, we went into the
Yeah,
superorganism to rescue the kids.
yeah, they're just like they're believing you. They're just like you. It's not like you have to convince them fully. I'm just saying that they have this look of like they get the sense you're not telling them the full story, but you also know them, and you get the sense that they might be a little bit thankful that you're not telling them the full story involving the dead body of the person they helped you look up about and where his location was before he was then found dead.
And I was
Valid.
so worried I was going to fail it and have to spend a luck and then bring the Wizard Council into this. The fact, like, ever since I've become aware of the Wizard Council, I'm becoming more paranoid of the Wizard Council.
Just looming.
Waiting.
Because it's going to happen. These
Watching.
dice aren't
Wizard-
nice to us.
The Wizard IRS.
Oh god, that would be the worst. The worst. So they're just like nodding. It's like,
Wizard.
well, I mean, you go poaching in the supernism, good chance you're gonna get eaten by something, I guess.
But
It is the number one cause of death.
But
by
it's-
the supermarket.
we're in kind of the opposite direction of where all that was going down. So I don't know what this is. But if you can think of anything, let me know.
Yeah, well, keep our ears out. You know,
I'm trying to play friendly to the new suit, and I don't know how well I trust her versus Hanzo. Hanzo I know well. Hanzo we've done fun stuff around. Hanzo listens to K-pop in his car, J-pop in his car.
yeah, seems okay. So that's okay. And then, like Estelle asks, goes, okay. I swear that's what I heard. You know, muffled through his car one time when we pulled up, but he turned it off before he opened up the car door, so I couldn't hear it. So okay, yeah. No, I was wondering about that. She
Yeah,
kinda laughed to herself.
I've heard it like a couple of times. It is incredibly jarring, but hey, you know what? It's Hanzo. We like him. But no, so that's one of the reasons I'm also not poking around over there is because technically I'm a civilian and I'm just here being a concerned citizen.
Yeah. And Estelle is just like, so here, and she hands you one of the Polaroids of this turtle, this tortoise head just looming up like almost like a weird land shark Nessie, and just squinting in the camera flash. She goes, here, if you want to hang that up at the diner or the ride or something.
I've got a pretty good place of where to put this. Somewhere where it'll be
She like
truly
hands
be
up.
appreciated.
She pulled out like a handful, but then like you realize she took a lot. She goes, I used up an entire stack.
I mean, to be fair, if I had that happen, I would be doing the same thing.
Actually, that might be something to keep in mind. It did not like bright lights. It kept squinting at me.
Fair. It is a creature that lives in a giant flesh pit. I don't assume it gets a whole lot of light, but if I run into it, I'll keep that in mind. That'll be helpful. So, take care. I'm pretty sure it's gone now. We've probably made too much noise and vibrations for it to be comfy. So,
Yeah. And Tommy. Oh. Might be still BRB'd. But yeah, there's been no tremors in the ground since it left. They would say it's like they couldn't tell you exactly which direction it went, just that it like the sound of it digging and the tremors died off eventually when it disappeared back underground. And they're saying, you know, it's like, thank God it didn't hit any water lines or power lines, because there's been no flooding, there's been no, you know, power outages, which was one of the main concerns when they heard there's a giant burrowing animal.
yep.
Something known to break through bone as hard as concrete. You know, lead and plastic pipes aren't going to stop it.
No. But at the same point, it also might not like that, you know? Might detect
Yeah.
it's something weird. But at least no one's hurt. Everyone seems to be fine. Well, only casualty was the hot tub.
No, I mean, if
You
you
hear
should have heard
you
Bill
hear a
made it.
lament in the background.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you should have heard him. It sounded like you lost a loved one. But, I mean, he did just install it. So, I mean, I feel for the guy.
Does he not have a warranty on it or something?
Oh, he probably does. It's just, Bill doesn't exactly have the best of luck.
He's like a Fred. Gotcha.
Oh God, no! I just realized I'm accidentally making him Bill Dotrieve.
Ooh.
Not that sad.
That's fair.
King of the Hill.
Bill from King of the Hill, literally who I thought of when TT described Fred to me.
I would say Fred's got a bit more going on than Bill.
Yeah, Bill
Having
is.
seen the third Deadpool movie, I gotta say the Pete comparison really does feel apt.
Sugar
I haven't
Bear.
yet to see that one yet.
It's actually really good.
Everybody loves Sugar Bear.
I'm brief tangent. Deadpool and Wolverine has a lot more heart than I was expecting, but then so did Deadpool 1 and 2. Those movies are
Yeah.
actually kind of underrated for their substance.
Yeah, they're weirdly wholesome in their weird ways, despite being Deadpool.
It's what Gail Simone talked about it because she kind of wrote the version of Deadpool that became the definitive version of Deadpool. When Rob Liefeld made him just sort of a blah character. Gail Simone said that, like, beneath all the jokes and the crass humor, Deadpool does have like a really sort of emotional core. He's a very sensitive man.
Is Fred a sensitive man?
Well, yeah, obviously, but he's more like Pete in Deadpool, who's just a normal guy who shouldn't be here, and yet it's kind of wonderful that he is.
He's a normal guy who's a little bit weird in his own way, and everyone loves him for it.
And also getting a bit weirder the more he encounters weird things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He starts
So-
developing a taste for it.
Oh, how close are we to pumpkin time?
Half an
Typically
hour,
like
I
an
think.
hour or so.
Half hour? Okay. We might have to do. Yeah, we're gonna have to do the steakhouse next time, but that deserves its a good amount of time for it.
I think the kids actually arriving is a good episode thing anyway.
Yeah. So, back to so Carlos and Tommy, you're hanging out with the trio, waiting for the others. What are the rest of you? Anything else you wanted to do at the? I can't exactly say crime scene.
I'm
But,
going to the car and calling it in to the director.
Fred or Olivia, anything you wanted to do?
I'm just gonna hang out by my bike until Hanzo says that he doesn't need me anymore.
Okay. So Hanzo, you go to your car phone and call up Director McLean. As he rings a couple of times before he answers, goes, Agent Hanzo, just heard back from the recovery team. 4 jack-o'-lizards wrapped up. Quite literally, they told me. Good work.
Agent Wakefield deserves credit as well, but
Oh, of course.
we have a greater concern.
Does this have anything to do with you hear the shuffling of papers? Something about a sinkhole not far from there?
Opened by a mole tortoise. One that's very far from
perfect.
home.
Yes, I'd say so. Well, make sure to keep that. Make sure to express to the officers on the scene to try and keep it not a circus. Last thing we need is attention to this, but we'll send people over to take a look around, maybe see if they can track the tunnel. But fortunately, one of the problems with mole tortoises when they get out of the superorganism is their tunnels typically don't hold up structurally, so they collapse afterwards. Apparently, easier to tunnel, lasting tunnels through superorganism material than it is dirt and
Understood, sir.
knowing it's a bolt tortoise, we'll make sure we get the equipment ready for you if you happen to manage to track it down yourselves. And all right, well, keep up the good work. Remember, make sure to keep this. The fact that it was a mole tortoise, preferably under wraps. We don't need the news getting hold of this.
I can certainly try, sir, but there's already emergency responders and a number of people here.
And of course, just again, just express to the officers there that they probably would appreciate this to remain discreet. They should know what that means.
Very well.
Carry on. And yes, you said you were taking tomorrow off, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just remember, if an emergency does arise, we may have to call you in. But enjoy yourself. You and Wakefield have been working hard. And you are keeping up on the problems before even I have come aware of them, so that is a good sign. Carry on. And he hangs up the line. And as you step out of the car, you see, stepping up to Olivia, Wakefield doesn't really notice her because she's like talking to one of the officers. Olivia, you feel someone tap your shoulder.
Oh, I turn around.
And you see, to Hanzo's dismay, you see Sheila Riggy, the reporter from the news, with her notebook open and goes, Olivia, hey, it's been a while.
Hey, Sheila, yeah, it's been a bit. How are you?
Good. Busy.
I'm sure.
Heard something interesting. I do want to catch up, but business first,
Yeah. Business first, pleasure later.
Pleasure.
She laughed at that, and yeah, I think she like say. Does Tommy say that?
What did Tommy say?
No, that was Shady the player saying that.
Oh, what did you say?
Pleasure.
Hey,
Pleasure.
we're like
It's a Freudian slips episode.
Oh, but she's like, sorry. I heard that something about a endofauna appearance.
Maybe. Yeah.
She's like
I'm
already.
sure.
Hanzo, you can hear them talking as you walk up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's sick. Like
We can neither confirm nor deny anything yet.
Well, well,
Agent Hanzo, hello.
I think that there's something wrong with it. I think it's sick or something. And that's why it's acting out of character. So this one, I can't. If they don't usually come up, this is strange for one of them. Immortoids, they're built to move through the superorganism. This is not normal or healthy for them.
If only you could see my face, because Khan's is making the same one.
So this one,
Sheila's happily writing down.
I'm not I'm not a huge fan of pluripotent, but
He puts a hand on your shoulder.
What?
Olivia.
Yes.
We shouldn't be sharing speculation with reporters.
Shouldn't I?
Speculation, specifically.
I think Olivia here can be considered an expert in animal welfare. She does, after all, represent the pluripotent preserve.
Okay,
right?
well, first of all,
Don't call it the pluripotent preserve.
The
It's
pluripotent
the
sponsored preserve.
yeah.
We don't know
I'm
much of
just
anything yet.
no, we don't know anything for sure yet. That's
Of
why
course,
we're here.
of course, I've already written down, and she holds it up. Pluripotent can neither confirm nor deny. However, reputable sources from the preserve state that it is most likely a mole tortoise, lost, possibly sick.
Maybe not. Don't put the preserve on there.
Okay, reputable sources reputable sources.
Animal expert.
Animal expert. Okay.
There you go.
Trying to gas yourself up while trying to remain anonymous.
No, it's not that she's trying. That wasn't her trying to gas herself up. That was her like, see that's still that was more like, see, that's still a valuable source that you could use as a reference, but isn't going to reflect at all badly on the preserve. Yeah, I mean, this is all speculation. And I'm not the biggest fan of the pluripotent Sheila, but this I can't say for sure that this one's got anything with them at fault. Really, honestly, this seems like poor creature sick or hurt.
Perhaps any time could you? She looks to Hanzo as Wakefield seems to be finally noticing and is like tromping over as Sheila's just like, and can you comment about if this is possibly tied to the recent activities of the vultures poachers ring? As we know, what was known as a macro swarm recently got loose, which led to several deaths of both people and livestock.
God, yeah, it bit the fuck out of my leg. It bit the fuck out of my leg.
You'll allow Wakefield to interject.
I'm
She probably has the
sorry.
same orders.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm sorry, Miss Riggy, but truly we cannot comment on an ongoing investigation. I'm sure you know this. You can request details through the proper channels by contacting pluripotents. And Sheila just kind of rolling her eyes as it seems this isn't the first time she's gotten this spiel. Maybe not from Wakefield, but definitely from others. But maybe not even like pluripotent, but just being a nosy investigator reporter.
Yeah.
But she's just like, I get it. I know this song and dance. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I think I'm going to interview some of the locals. Have a good night. As she turns and starts heading right towards the Falcon Lake Trio, where Carlos, you're there with Tommy.
Oh, hey, Sheila, we're not gonna have the country fried steak in stock. Something down at the butcher not having a sudden cleaning out of their meat. I just wanted to let you know that. So.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to look into that. As she makes a note. And Hanzo, Olivia, and Winifred, you just see Johanna doing the Captain Picard face palm, just like, oh my god.
What?
Fred's over at her bike, just with her arms crossed, going, "What the hell's going on over there?"
Olivia looks
in response to Olivia, nothing. It's just that our superiors expect us to work miracles, and he's gonna walk off.
I mean,
he's not wrong. And then she just turns and starts following Hanzo.
Hey, there was literally a giant sinkhole. It's better that they at least have an idea that it's not something, actively carnivorous. It's better that they know that somewhat what it is.
Kind of spoiler. Yeah, they are carnivorous.
Oh shit. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's better that they know it's not. Yeah, it's better that they have an idea of what it is than not at all, because that way they can at least keep themselves safe to some degree.
Yeah, they specifically people would know this in the group, and you might know this being a nerd who studies this stuff.
Should.
But they are carnivorous technically in that pretty much everything that you consume of the superorganism is meat,
Yeah.
flesh. But they specifically prefer certain organs that are closer in consistency, almost to like a cactus, and that like juicy, fibrous
Ah,
texture. That's
okay.
why they burrow, is they dig for these specific organs.
Yeah. Okay.
But that
Um,
means
Oh, and while I have you over here, I'm getting a new ride
Yes.
built. We're renovating the ride, and I have a new attraction coming that should make a big
Oh.
splash. If you want,
Now, careful about making a big splash. I think they copyright that for the water park they're going to be reopening.
okay, we can work on the phrasing on that. I'm still building the thing, but if you'd like to get some photos of what I've been working on later on, it's out in the workshop yard out back. Once I'm done here, I'll head over there and we can get that taken care
Oh,
of for
excellent. Yeah, we're definitely in the newspaper and the station. We're making sure to highlight Pluripotent trying to revitalize things, and that gets like a few scoffs from the trio. And she goes, "Oh, I know, but we're trying to help the locals and promote businesses. So yeah, we'll get you mentioned."
Yep. And I've also been working on a good deal with the Nature Preserve, on doing some potentially sponsored themed meals around some of the wildlife projects they've done for them. I'll
oh,
bring a little bit drumming up business for them.
have you told Olivia this?
And she was
Yeah.
like, "I will make sure we emphasize that it is not cloned animal meat."
Yes, I am not asking for cloned animal meat. I have standards. I go to the butcher, which is why I was telling you about the butcher having problems.
Yes, no,
It's
I
probably
know.
just going to be a day or two. Maybe it's a bad batch they
I was
got
going to
in. You know
make
how
a
it goes.
joke about if you're out of the fried steak, why the hell would I come in? But yeah,
It'll just be a
no,
day or two.
I know. I'll just try something else with you guys. But anyways, yeah, of course. So she's making notes and she starts talking to the trio, who do show her the pictures of the mole tortoise because that is their property and they haven't been confiscated yet.
Yeah.
So
That's why Olivia has
just-
no problem talking about it because like, oh yeah, there's literally pictures and
yeah,
people
she's
There's no
happily-
point in trying to deny the existence of what just happened. It's just that Hanzo was not going to put any more fuel onto that fire.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Because he knows his boss will use that same fire to light his ass.
Yeah, Olivia who was saying to Wakefield as she was leaving, is like, it's better that they have some idea of what they're dealing with than none at all. And literally, there's a sinkhole. It's clear something's going on.
yeah, and she didn't disagree with you, but
What's the read on Wakefield?
she's trying to keep a professionalism, especially when interacting with like literally cops and first responders around.
Uh-huh.
You get the sense that maybe she's a little annoyed that you're kind of, from her point of view, not deferring to her apparent authority over the situation. It's a jurisdiction thing in her eyes, which Hansel, you probably get the same vibe too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I deal with the animals, this is my jurisdiction. I've literally saved lives.
Yes, but legally, Pluripotent has
Yeah.
all jurisdiction regarding endofauna.
It's
No, I
hard
know.
not to be a little to have a little bit of a when somebody is making your job actively harder through no malicious
Oh,
intent.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind
know.
of
I
feels
understand.
like that
I
both
understand.
on both ways, where you're kind of frustrated with the other for the same reason.
Yeah. This is what I do. This is what I do.
But yeah, so you don't get the sense that there's actual like malice there. It's more just like please let me do my job kind of vibe.
Yeah.
but you're also having that same like response.
Yeah, because like this is my job as well.
Anyways, so
Funny.
the situation here has been pretty much covered up. Winifred and Fred, you'll have to get that spike cleaned up. But when you go walking by, just to speed things up because we're getting close to the end time, Carlos, you would see Fred does have a scale from the mole tortoise, which with your tracking spell might be useful.
Ooh. Good to know. Hey,
But
Fred,
Wizard Council.
Yeah, what you need?
keep a hand on that scale with you. Keep it on yous.
Oh yeah, I'm giving it to my kids.
Yeah, Olivia
well-
comes over.
Well, Fred, I can use that to track the tortoise later.
Yeah,
Oh.
and Fred.
And then I can give it to my kids?
And then you can give it to your kids.
Hey, you two.
Okay.
Go for it,
Oh,
both of you.
hi.
Just
What's up?
make sure you do whatever you're gonna do. Just make sure you make sure you clean it first, because could be some nasty germs on there.
yeah, Winifred's probably just like, I know. Listening in.
Yeah, you
Well,
wouldn't
yeah,
want to give your kids some exotic bacteria.
Turtle flu.
Salmonella.
Turtle flu.
Oh yeah, super salmonella.
Oh,
We'll
And you
drop
definitely
it
don't
down
want
there
kids
for
to
a
turn
couple
into were tortoises, which is
Which
probably like the safest
be-
sort of were beast, because
Yeah,
if it
that'd be
chases
awesome.
after you, it'll just be like, oh no.
well, the thing is, it's I mean,
Tortoises can
tortoises
get
are
up.
fast.
You would be surprised how fast a tortoise can haul ass when it wants to haul ass.
Also,
I would rather have a werewolf, good sir.
just watch
Yeah,
out for
werewolf
the
is
were
not-
snap.
a werewolf
Snapping
is not
were-turtle.
wearing a giant fucking shield.
Just watch out for the snapping were turtles.
Oh god.
I think it's very lucky that snapping word turtles are so rare, is because they typically just snap you in half.
Mhm.
That's
Yep,
true.
There's not
It
much
has
of a
to be
bite you can survive.
Snapping were-turtles are at least to avoid swamps, because snapping turtles tend to prefer swampy terrains, where tortoises can go sailing if they want to. And I don't like the fact that I can be on a boat and a giant tortoise that's the size of a man eats me.
I thought tortoises
Well, that-
were shitty swimmers. Like I thought they.
Tortoises
they
are not
sank.
good at swimming.
There's a specific species.
I have a tangent we will save after the video, but for our listeners, look up the Aldalber tortoise.
Yeah,
Just for
they're
funsies.
actually the ones that inspired the ones in Bright and Tide that the dwarves use. And I was actually going to say, being on a boat and a man-sized turtle shows up to attack you. That was literally the first session of Bright and Tide with the portal zombies.
Yeah, I haven't
Little
forgotten that.
But so, anyways, so the situation here has been pretty much wrapped up. You can return home. Fred, you need to get to rest so you can be ready to go pick up your kids in the morning.
Yep, and I'll do my night shift.
Yep, because this is your last shift for a few days because you took a few days off for your kids once they get here. But
Yep.
So you and actually Hanzo, you probably no, you'd have to go home and get ready for it. But anyways, you'll split up and through the night, you keep an ear out for any reports, waiting for any calls. No other sightings of sinkholes or giant turtles. No lizard attacks. But there is a moment. Actually, I think we'll do, Fred, if you don't mind. We'll have the kids show up at the beginning of next session because I have a stinger I want to do.
Okay.
If you, sorry, I mean, we can do.
No,
that.
I
We
think
can have
having
show.
the kids show up next session makes sense.
So we'll do a stinger. As through the night, there was no reports of mole tortoises or roving bands of chewing lizards. But the air is thick with mosquitoes, and there's always a boom of them after the rains. But out in a driving along in a pickup truck down a desert road off outside of town, a man drives and stops where he had been told to wait. Steps out into the middle of the darkness with a flashlight, looks down at the piece of paper that told him to come here to wait for a pickup. The man smoking a cigarette, as he'd done this job several times before, driving out to pick up contraband, either smuggled or he never made a point to look at it. It was bad for business. He just knew he had to go there, pick it up, and transport it somewhere else. But as he's standing out there, it wasn't. He was worried. He started to grow a little frustrated and worried, as this was the only time they'd been late. And as he decides to take a little bit of a walk around, just if they showed up, he'd know what they would be. But he started to get a little bad feeling as he stepped out, and after a few minutes, he realized, oh, they had been here. As he finds a vehicle, a familiar truck he'd seen once or twice in these exchanges. As he turns around, the vehicle turned off, no headlights on. But as beam of flashlight sweeps across, he notices the sprawled out form of a body, limbs at odd angles. As the man starts to take a step back, there is a rapid skittering of sound of rapid footfalls through the gravelly sand as the beam sweeps. A gun's pulled out into his other hand as the smuggler looks around. Before there is a sudden weight that tackles him from behind, as two searing, stabbing pains stabs him in the back of the shoulders, pinching and dragging him down. As in his lower back, there is suddenly another stab as a searing flame, almost venom-like, spreads through his lower back, and his legs go limp as he falls down, unable to walk. And he tries to crawl away as once more, and then again and again, the stabbing, searing pain is plunged into his back before he can no longer move. And the last thing he sees before he chokes as his airway swells are the rapid skittering legs of something moving past the beam of the dropped flashlight before his vision goes dark.
Eddie Murphy?
Motherfucker.
Shady.
Go in there.
I had soda in my mouth, you motherfucker.
God, I was not expecting that.
No one expects Eddie Murphy. His main weapon is surprise.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that brought to mind Beverly Hills Cop. So it was like,
oh jeez.
What if Eddie Murphy was an insectide in horror?
My fucking desk is all sticky because I sprayed soda everywhere.
So, how do people like that?